We begin with President Akufo-Addo, who has submitted to the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, the names of his deputy ministerial nominees for Parliament's approval. The list, which is replete with parliamentarians, also has persons who have served in the President's first term, including former National Petroleum Authority boss Hassan Tampuli, former Deputy Energy Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, and former Deputy Information Minister Nana Dokia Isiama Ejei, among others. President Akufo-Addo said he is hopeful that just as was done for his ministers, Parliament will on a bipartisan basis expedite the approval of his deputy ministerial nominees so they can join the government forthwith and assist in the delivery of his mandate for his second term in office. Let's take a quick look at the list. Right, so we'll begin with Ministry of State at the Ministry of Finance. Minister of State and Ministry of Finance, Charles Edu-Buahin. Now, he was former Deputy Finance Minister. He was also the President's representative at the Finance Ministry when the substantive minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, flew to the United States because he was sick. We move to actual deputy ministers now. At the Finance Ministry, there's Honorable Abna Osei-Asare, MP for Etiwa West, who will retain her position as Deputy Finance Minister if approved. John Ampontia Kuma, former Chief Executive of the National Entrepreneurial and Innovation Plan, NEIP, he moves to the Ministry of Finance as Deputy Minister. The Ministry of, so that's one less Deputy Minister for Finance. Remember, there used to be three. It was Charles Edu-Buahin, Abna Osei-Asare, and Kweku Kwating, who is now Chair of the Finance Committee of Parliament. Trade and Industry, three deputies very quickly: Herbert Kwapa, Michael Otribefi, MP, Nana Dokia Isiama Ejei, MP, who's moving from the Information Ministry to the Trade and Industry Ministry. Michael Otribefi, first timer in Parliament. Energy Ministry, three deputies: Mohammed Amin Adam, Oreku Edu William, both second timers there. Andrew Ejapa Mesa goes there now. Food and Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado, MP, Mohammed Hardy Tufero, MP. Education has Reverend John Intim Fojo, who's an MP, and Gifty Chum Ampofo, who's also a member of Parliament. Right, Health has Tina Gifty Mensah staying in that position as Deputy Minister. Honorable Mahama Asei Seini, newcomer in there. Benito Owosubio also keeps his job as Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister. George Mekuduka joins him there in that role. He's Member of Parliament for Takwa Nswaim, former board chair of the Minerals Innovation of the MIIP. Now, MIIF. Roads and Highways has two deputy ministers, Stephen Jalula and Mavis Nkansa Buedu. Hassan Tampuli, former NPA boss, moves to Transport Ministry as deputy. And Frederick Obing Adom joins him there. Okay, the rest of these ministries have one deputy each. Defense, Kofi Amankwa-Menu, replacing Derek Ojo, Major retired. Nana Eya Kwanta is at Interior. Amat Poma Boating is at Communications and Digitization. A bit of a surprise there, was tipped to go to the Dankwa Institute boss, who is Richard Ahiagba. Abdullahi Abanga MP is going to Works and Housing, where he will join the minister and a Ministry of State, Frida Prempe. And Moses Enim is at Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, supporting Mavis Hawa Kumsin. Kwekwa Sante Boating is a Railway Development. He deputizes the former Energy Minister, John Peter Amewu. Amedu Isahaku Chenia replaces Patrick Buama as Sanitation and Water Resources Minister. Mark Okreku Mante moves to the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry. He is entering government for his first time. Mark Okreku Mante there. Honorable Lariba Zuwera Abudu is the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Bright Rekubebe keeps his job as Employment and Labor Relations Minister. Fatimatu Abubakar, another newcomer to the executive arm of government, well, I should say, to a ministerial position, Deputy Information Minister. Right, we'll go to ELTON BROBBEY, but Honorable Evans Opoku Bobie is Deputy Youth and Sports Minister. ELTON, first of all, this list was expected yesterday. We understand that there was still consultation up to the time it was released. How tight is this?
Well, I don't think much changed from what we told our viewers and our listeners yesterday. I mean, basically, about 99% of what we said yesterday is what we are witnessing this very moment. And so nothing much has changed. Just that there are still some few areas that we will need clarity on, especially Ministry of Chieftaincy and Culture. Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology is not mentioned in this particular, list that we have. Is it oversight or government is still consulting on the name to be named as deputy ministers for environment as well as chieftaincy and culture? These are the ministries that currently does not appear on the list that we have been told right now. You also mentioned Fatih Abubakar, who is a deputy minister for information. He's not actually new in government. Currently, until this appointment, she was a deputy director of communications at the presidency. So she's moved from the Jubilee House now to the ministries to work. So Daniel, nothing much has changed. I told you on the post yesterday that.
Now, Elton, you mentioned that chieftaincy, culture, and environment, science, technology, and innovation are not mentioned. Could it be that government is going to treat these ministries like the regional ministries, because we know that the regional ministries will not have deputies? I'm asking this because the president said he will appoint 85 ministers in total in that release before the ministerial list came out. This list brings the total number of ministers to 86. Could it be that we are going to see this number of ministers and no more?
Yes, so that is the question I put to the communication and the Jubilee House, whether the ministries that we don't see on the paper, is it the case that they are not going to have deputy ministers because the information was that only the regional ministers would not be given, would not have deputy ministers? Now, I'm just to get answer to this particular question, because what is missing is chieftaincy and culture as well as environment. It doesn't appear on this particular paper, and I'm waiting to hear the response of government related, whether it's an oversight or it's just that the president does not intend to send a deputy minister to the chieftaincy as well as environment. But overall, these were the names that we mentioned on the post yesterday. So it is not surprising, even though we have some new names that are making entry into government for the very first time. Marco Kukumanti, Alfred Chiayebwa, who currently is a private legal practitioner in the Bonahavo capital, Sudan, and he will be working with the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah, together with also another entry into government, Diana Asuna Badapa, currently lectures in law at GIMPA. So these are new individuals, and for the first time we have the Office of the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, without any representation from Parliament. Waiting to see how they'll be able to conduct business on the floor relating to issues relating to the Attorney General, Minister of Justice. The reason why you have so many deputy ministers from Parliament is that when you have a situation where ministers cannot avail themselves before the House to answer questions, to let papers, to help in discussions on the floor, deputy minister, by the fact that they are members of Parliament, can and the sign orders allow, once the majority leader is able to get the speaker's approval, the deputy ministers can stand in place of these ministers that may not be available to work. And when you have a deputy minister who is a member of Parliament, it's always difficult getting the speaker's attention or getting the speaker's approval to allow such individuals to transact business on behalf of their respective minister, because of the cordiality between certain MPs and the fact that those members are also deputy ministers. It's always easy to get through. But when we have a non-MP conducting business on the floor in the absence of a substantive minister, it's always difficult. So that's become, in practice, usually deputy ministers, majority leaders have always been given sometimes 70% quota in the selection of deputy ministers for the president. It looks like in the second term of the President Akufo-Addo administration, the reason why this particular list is delayed was the fact that there were so many competing demands from the regions, from the party, from Parliament, and from government itself to get people through. The reasons we are very much unclear. And also more particularly when you have 137 members on both sides of the House, and you will require loyalty above all others in helping positive government agenda on the floor. When MPs feel unhappy with the selection, and if they carry that anger into how they conduct themselves on the floor, then you are likely to see a situation where the coming days will be very difficult in terms of getting government to prosecute the business on the floor.
On that point, Elton, back of the envelope calculations show that we have 57 ministers in total, deputy and substantive, who will be from Parliament out of the total number of 86. Do you think that this could affect their work in Parliament, considering how, like you just mentioned, we have 138 on the side of the majority, including the independent MP, and 137 on the side of the minority?
So, Daniel, I'm coming to you live from Parliament because I'm covering another program. Now, the program I'm covering, the chairperson on this committee in the first term of President Akufo-Addo's administration was a deputy minister. Now, he told me privately that he was called by the president and was made to understand that because of the way the parliamentary election went, there was a need for government to have sitting members of parliament constantly in the House to help in the prosecution of government business. So for that reason, he was not going to be given the opportunity of a deputy minister in the second term. And then he was given chairperson of a committee. Now, you have also some people who are deputy ministers. They have again been renominated for same ministry or different ministries. So for those who were called and were first upon to accept the fact that they would no longer serve in government as deputy ministers, but they see their colleagues serving in the same capacity as that person was in the first term of the president of the administration. How is this going to impact on how the person conduct themselves on the floor? And I'll tell you for sure, the MPP has a lot of work to do to get their members in line to help in the business of President Akufo-Addo, especially in Parliament. And if the election of the Speaker, if the passage of the budget, which eventually had to be decided on by secret ballots and deputies, but then clearly the party has a lot of work to do to get their members to back the president's agenda. And starting with the deputy ministers, it looks like there's more work to be done.
Elton BROBBEY, thank you very much for joining us. But an interesting observation will be that there are now 3 persons who used to occupy deputy ministerial positions and are now occupying substantive ministerial positions. First of all, of course, being Dr. Yao Educhum, who is the only person to have been promoted within his ministry. But Joseph Kujo has been moved from Deputy Energy Minister to Minister for Public Enterprises, and Charles Edubuahin was Deputy Minister for Finance and is now Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance. We move to other stories, and the Accra High Court has granted actress Rosamund Brown, popularly known as Ekuapim Polo, an 80,000 Ghana cedi bail with 2 sureties to be justified pending an appeal of her 90-day jail term. According to the court presided over by Justice Ruby Aite, the actress must report to the police twice every week and can only travel after the court has granted her permission to do so. An Accra High Court, or Circuit Court, last week handed the actress a 90-day jail sentence over naked pictures she posted on social media with her son. The sentence received mixed reactions in the country, with some describing it as harsh, while some were of the opinion that it was fair. The application for bail was not opposed by the state. Lawyer for the actress, Andrews Botia, spoke to the press after successfully securing her bail.
Bail pending appeal is an unusual process. Until the conviction is set aside or overturned, it's a good conviction. So it's an unusual process. But it can also be granted under special circumstances. So I canvass those. In fact, I particularized them. I started one after the other.
Would you outline the 3 top special circumstances that you felt based on which he had to be granted bail?
Yeah, I went under first and young offender, the show of remorse, the guilty plea simplicity without wasting the court's time, and the welfare of the son, which the law seeks to protect. For us today, if I ask you, is the son better off or worse off today? For me, I'll say that He's worse off for the 90-day castration of the mother. He's worse off. So the same law that seeks to protect the child is not punishing the child. Those are the special circumstances that went under, and those are helped by the judge.
On the issue of the appeal, how do things play out?
Appeal, we don't discuss appeal in public domain. We discuss appeal in courtroom. Appeal is between the Attorney General and his people and my legal team.
Just to be clear, today's case handled the bail application in particular.
That is what happened today.
Okay. When are you jumping on the appeal, and how are you looking at going?
Appeal is a process. We've served the courts and the Attorney General a lot of documents, which they have to look at. It will take some time for them to get their acts proper, ready. We are ready, but we have filed our processes. We don't intend to find any additional grounds. So we're just waiting for them.
With the bail application granted, what does it mean in simple terms for the ordinary Ghanaian?
Yeah, that the convict applicant, that's Akwapin Polo, has been restored to the state she was before the conviction.
The lawyer Andrew Vortia also noted that they will follow the substantive appeal after serving the Attorney General's department.
For us, it's a step in the right direction, but this process is an unusual process. It could be denied, it could be upheld for you, but we are happy that the bill has been granted. But the main purpose is the appeal proper. This is just a temporary relief for her to be restored back to her former state she was before the conviction. We have filed our appeal process. Everything has been filed, written address has been made. So it is now with the Attorney General, we have served them, so they also study it. So we'll be waiting for them, for their response, then the appeal will be heard. But look as if we are going towards the legal vacation, which is going to affect it in a way. The show of remorse, the genuine remorse that she showed throughout the trial, and I think that's it. The show of remorse by pulling down the post in June, apologizing to the whole world immediately. Her conduct, her demeanor from June 2020 till now has been one of the best. She does not dress, provocatively anymore. She dressed nicely, decently. So I think she deserves it. I am so happy.
Away from that story, hundreds of sympathizers, family members, friends, church members and residents of Ho and its environs have gathered at a community cemetery at Agotime, Petwe, to pay their last respects to the late Kafui Harriet Hiati, the lady who was allegedly murdered by her boyfriend, a popular Ho footballer Jay Dodoi, last month. The suspect is currently receiving treatment whilst the Ho police continue with investigations.
Gradually, we trained her to be a lead vocalist. So not too long, she started leading song in church. And then we know Kafi to be the extrovert style. When you wrong her, she goes straight forward and tell you what you do is wrong. And then we know Kafi to be an open type of human being. She doesn't hate anybody. She loves everybody though. But then one thing she doesn't like is when you go wrong to her, she will tell you in the face, not at your back. And then you know Kafi to be a very loving and then a heartwarming person. But up to her demise, we are very shocked. Hearing the sad news. So that's what I can tell you about Kafi. Yeah, thank you.
I know Kafi. We all stay around Freedom Hotel. We stay around, we joke together, we do it together. We also it's our
Some heartbreaking scenes there we saw earlier. Ivy Setoji has joined us on the line with more. Ivy, was that the mother of Kafui who was being helped but was almost helpless earlier? Ivy, can you hear me? Right. Is that the mother of Kafui who is being helped to walk and is screaming?
Yes, that was the mother. That's the mother of the late Kafui, who was being held by some women. So at the cemetery, everything was done at the cemetery because, according to the traditions of the people there at Petue, when someone is dead, such deaths are not taken home. Everything is being held at the cemetery. So right from the mortuary, they take the person straight to the cemetery where the funeral is held, and then just beside where the funeral was held, then they bury her. So exactly what they did. So within 2 hours, the ceremony was over, and then she was buried.
Were there any dignitaries present?
Hello?
Were there any dignitaries present?
There were lots of people, but we didn't see any dignitary. Maybe they were there, but we did not see anyone because the crowd was just too much. They couldn't allow us to the house as well because they didn't want anyone to disturb the mother. So after the time we got there, we did not see any dignitary at the ceremony. But there were lots of family members, especially friends of the church members, her choir, colleagues in the choir, and then the youth were the people who were mostly then at the funeral.
Right. Ivy, do we have any updates on the investigations concerning Jay, the boyfriend who allegedly killed her?
We tried reaching the police, but we couldn't get them. But from insiders, we were told that the police are still investigating the matter, and also the boyfriend is fast recovered and maybe put to court soon.
Thank you very much, Ivy Setuji, for those updates. And may her soul rest in perfect peace. Some more disturbing news, and 2 suspects arrested for setting a 64-year-old woman on fire at Nakpanduri have arrived at Wadewale Magistrate Court, but there is no judge to hear the case. The court is expected to be presided over by a judge from Tamale because the acting magistrate is on leave. But that judge is yet to arrive, and prosecutors who have been with the suspects since morning cannot tell if the judge will show up. We are joined by our Northeast Region correspondent, Ilyasu Tanko. Ilyasu, do we know how this happened? Ilyasu, can you hear me? Right, do I have Ilyasu on the line? Unfortunately, we seem to have lost Ilyasu Tanko. We will go back to that story when we have established contact with him. But you're live on Joy News today. We've covered a number of stories so far, brought you that deputy minister's list. We've also told you that Ikuapim Polo or Rosemond Brown has been granted bail to the tune of 80,000 Ghana cedis. Now, we move to other stories now, and many people, including health officials, have praised a 33-year-old midwife for her selflessness and commitment in saving the lives of pregnant women and their unborn babies in a hard-to-reach community in the Ashanti region. Without access to an ambulance, Delali Gavo of the local Motokrodua Chips compound has improvised the use of wooden doors to transport expectant mothers to the health facility for deliveries. Ohiming Teria of our health desk traveled to the Motokrodua community to follow up on the exploits of this extraordinary midwife and has come through with this report.
Motokrodua is a small farming community in the Sache East district of Ashanti region. It is one of the hard-to-reach areas in the district, with thousands of hamlets scattered in the thickest of a forest. Many of the settler farmers are plagued with many waterborne related diseases and other health conditions. Justice Ofori Amwa is the district director of health.
When you get to Motokrodua, it's a forest, and therefore you have a lot of these community members who live in the forest, in the hamlets. So you get to community A, you have you get about 2 or 3 people, you move to the next. So getting them is not so simple.
Many rest cannot afford healthcare services and prefer home remedies. Pregnant women often suffer near-death complications as they fail to attend antenatal clinics. Some are delivered on their farms and others are transported to the Motokrodia Chief's compound for attention by the only midwife here, the Lali Gavo and her team.
Some of the cases we always attend to are snake bites, scorpion stinge, malaria, diarrhea. We have communities such as Titikaso, New Apaso, and Peedra, Adukrum, that they are safe. And the distance is far from where they are to the facility. So we do home visiting, get to the community, we attend to some of them. The serious one, we bring them to the facility to attend to them.
Lacking access to motorable roads, ambulance or other means of transportation for critical referral cases, Ms. Gavo has improvised and resorted to the use of wooden doors to transport her clients. 2 wooden slabs are joined with nails at the 2 ends of the door to support head pads. Patients lie in a supine position on the door and are carried on the head with the help of 3 men. This ingenuity has helped save many expectant mothers and their unborn babies.
This woman was so weak and was lying there. She mentioned some complaints to me that she's feeling lower abdominal pain and dizziness. That's why she's not able to walk. After the assessment, I realized that she's having a BP, a high BP. Then when I listened to the fetal heart rate, it was very low. And I realized that water that the fetus was lying in was very green. So it gave me a signal that we can easily lose this baby.
20-year-old Zelia Yaya is among expectant mothers saved by this improvised wooden door ambulance. She had declined seeing an untrained traditional birth attendant in a nearby hamlet until the Lali arrived. Thanks to the ingenuity of the Lali, she safely delivered a bouncing baby girl.
I want to make cocoa macquaring, and Madame Della. Friend one, Cassano buy, but not can a peniding. And we say any impegis, any impedria 3, no more pedal, no more swam. So a more swammy could do cocoa be as no more brown or massy no more. Madame Della, Edda Fuku, Tido, Anna Miami Papa, Anna Kenneth, Anna Sakula.
As a norm, the Lali has been visiting Zelia and her baby for counseling on postnatal health. For Zelia, the wooden door has become part of her life-saving story.
Heartwarming story there coming there from Motokrodia. Let's go back to Wale and speak to Ilyasu Tanko. Ilyasu, we understand that the judge did not show up to hear the case involving these 2 suspects who were arrested for setting a 64-year-old woman on fire at Nakpanduri. How did this happen? Ilyasu, are you there? Unfortunately, we lost Ilyasu Tanko. Watch out for that story in later bulletins. You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Daryl is next with business.
Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Ghana's economy grew by just under 1% last year, 0.4% in fact. That's according to the 2020 annual GDP estimates released by the Ghana Statistical Service at the University of Cape Coast a while ago. Professor Kobnanim is government statistician.
The provisional current annual GDP estimates from an oil point of view stood at 404,873.7 million Ghana cedis. This compares with 350,788.2 million Ghana cedis that was recorded in the year 2019, indicating about 53,000 million Ghana cedis increase between 2019 and 2020. From a current point of view, again excluding oil, we saw that in 2020, GDP stood at 353,705.1 million Ghana cedis, and this compared with 315,118.8 million Ghana cedis that was recorded in the annual year 2019, indicating an increase in excess of 35 million. From a sector point of view, again on an annual GDP, we continue to see the services sector driving or having the highest contribution to the overall GDP by contributing 44.6%, followed by industry sector 36.3% and agriculture 19.1%. From a basic prices point of view, on an annual basis, GDP stood at 386,880.5 million Ghana cedis, and from a purchases value point of view, GDP stood at 404,873.7 million Ghana cedis.
And we've got more analysis on the latest economic numbers on the marketplace that's ahead at the top of the hour. In other news, Asante Hene Otumfuo Osei II has urged members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, to uphold truth and due diligence in the discharge of their duties. He says Ghana's economic development and the protection of the public purse rests on the professional ideals of accountants. Asante Hene said this when the leadership of ICAG paid a courtesy call on him. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The delegation from the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana visited the Menchia Palace to invite the Asante Hene for their upcoming conference to be held in Kumasi. The Asante Hene commended the association for their professionalism in Ghana's economic development. Otumfuo Osei II also urged the chartered accountants to be truthful and diligent to their duties since it plays a critical role in protecting the public purse.
Every accountant should be bold in standing firm for the truth, even if it costs you your job. And this is the way forward for us.
So if the government's revenue and finances shall flourish, we must engage accountants on the steps to take in order to help develop our nation. Professor Williams Atulik is president of ICAG.
We are here this morning first to put before you our desire to hold the annual accountants conference, which will be between 22nd of May to the 28th of May in your territory. And we want to request your kindness to grant us permission to hold a conference here. And secondly, to seek the privilege of having you grace the occasion when we are here. This is our mission, Your Royal Majesty.
Meanwhile, ICAG donated 20,000 cedis to support the work of the Otumfuo Educational Fund. Prince Apia reporting.
That's it for business. Sports is up next.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the sports segment on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Aplai. The Ghana Football Association Players Status Committee has asked Asante Kotoko to pay its former coach, Maxwell Konadu, over $40,000 for unilateral termination of contract. The Players Status Committee, in their ruling cited by Joy Sports, described management's decision to sack Konadu as hasty, premature and without just cause. Maxwell Konadu filed a petition before the football governing body following the club's decision to part company with him on December 17 after a 1-0 loss to Great Olympics. Asante Ikotoko, in their sack letter, said that the former Black Stars assistant coach inability to exhibit a high level of performance which will prepare the team to the height it deserves was the reason why they sacked him. Maxwell described the sacking as unfair and made demands for damages worth $60,000, 1 year salary of $36,000, and the remainder of a sign-on fee of $30,000 and a winning bonus of 2,000 Ghana cedis. The committee rejected the compensation because it found no grounds to award that, but ordered the Porcupines to pay their former coach $36,000 as the residual value of the contract terminated, and 32,000 Ghana cedis, which is combined outstanding sign-on fee and winning bonus. They say this payment must be done within 30 days. The club also say that they are going to contest the ruling of the Ghana Football Association Players Status Committee and could go as far as the Court of Arbitration for Sport to seek redress. It's been nearly 40 years since Ghana last won the African Cup of Nations. Many questions have surrounded the country's failure to rule the rest of Africa. Former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, George Afriye, says that he believes the national team should be made of 80 players who are young and the rest of the 20% should be occupied by experienced players.
I've said this several times, and I'll repeat it again. We need to manage the transition very, very well. The Black Stars should be 80%
don't worry at all. Don't worry.
20% old players. I repeat myself. The Black Stars should be 80% young players, 20% old players. If we do that, the Black Stars will have a good future. And we should take away favoritism. This one belongs here, so we won't call him. That one belongs here, so don't call him. This will not help the Black Stars. Please. These are some of the reasons why people will always call for a white man to coach the Black Stars. But what? Trust me, since we have opted to have one of our own, please, let us leave him to work. Let's give him all the needed support for him to work. CK Akuno must have his piece to work. That's all I'm calling for. If he failed, we will all see that he has failed. One of the good things I can boast of, and Kwesi Nyantakyi can boast also, we don't interfere with national team call-up. We don't. We don't. National team call-up, allow the coaches. We believe that the coaches are capable, they are competent, let's allow them.
Then how can you never win the tournament? What were the mistakes you did and you don't win?
It eluded us for, 2 finals. It's eluded us, but hey, you never know. Maybe under Kets we are going to win it. You never know. So you cannot say never.
What did you do that we never won it, and what should they do differently?
I'm saying that we went very close. luck. The last one, especially the one in Equatorial Guinea, it was pure luck. That we were leading 2 penalty kicks, we had to just bury the second and third, and then we didn't. But I'm saying that you can never say never. So let's hope maybe under Ketu will win it. So don't think he can. When we allow the coaches, fortunately, people have said that all the cups that we won it under black coaches, the Ghanaian coaches. So fortunately, we have a Ghanaian coach in charge. Let's give him the needed support, and I believe that CK will do wonders for us.
Good afternoon, welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News today. Now, the much anticipated list of deputy ministerial nominees is out, and the president of the Creative Arts Council, Mark Okreku-Manteh, has been nominated as Deputy Minister of Tourism. His confirmation comes on the back of President Akufo-Addo's list submitted to Speaker of Parliament on Wednesday. If approved, Mr. Okreku-Manteh will be deputy to Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal. In recent years, Mark Okreku-Manteh has been actively involved in politics after openly declaring his support for the New Patriotic Party and championing creative arts activities through the Creative Arts for Change, a group of NPP creatives that rallied behind the party. Popular boxer Bukom Banku has alleged that celebrities are beggars. He explained his comments on the Joy Sports link with Nathaniel Atto.
But you know that all the popular men, you are a beggar.
I didn't know.
If you are a popular man, you are a beggar.
I didn't know that.
Oh, if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know that Shatawale go people's house, he see big men, but they give him money.
No, but it doesn't mean that Shatawale goes to beg anybody.
Dabi, master, if he meet you, I'm a big man, I'm a popular man. I go some people's house, they give me money. You understand? Yes.
But it doesn't mean you are a beggar. If you go and visit somebody and the person gives you a present,
is a road.
Yeah.
If you are a beggar, but you are in the road.
Okay, but you have been going to beg specifically.
If you teaching me, but if somebody has beggar, that means you are on the road and you begging money.
Well, there's a possibility you can go to someone's house and
because I'm a boss, everybody know me, I'm a crapule. Well, me, I visit the big mess in the country. Maybe in Kenya, if I don't have money, people like Lord Kumbe. People like Lord Kumbe, when I call them, he give me money.
It's on this note that we end this bulletin of Joy News today. My name is Daniel Daze. Thanks for joining us. Many thanks to our production team behind. And also up next is The Marketplace. See you tomorrow.